What is that? What is that? What is that? Hey, GM, everybody, how we doing? Hope you are having a great Thursday morning. It is 10 a.m. Eastern here in the United States of America. Hope you all are doing well. Let's get this thing unmuted. Let's get this thing rolling. Man, oh man, we got some things going on today. It's going to be a fun conversation. GM Turbo. Got some fun stuff to look at. I was just looking over at NFTgo.io. Here it is. We hit 30. Market sentiment, while it still says cool, guarantee you it's heating up. So that'll be a fun thing to talk about today. Talking about how the Metaverse and NFTs, all of that are going to play a big role in what we're doing moving forward as an ecosystem, as individuals. What's going to bring about not only mass adoption, but what's going to bring a more, I don't know, a fulfilling ecosystem, right? And there's a lot of things to digest there, a lot of things to be looking at. So we will have an opportunity to check in there really quick in a little bit. Let's go look at my favorite research site here, Crypto Panic. Anything popping in the headlines? Let's see. Crypto exchange Gemini is over 3 months late in filling its UK accounts. Excuse me. Vald rejects Nexo's final acquisition proposal. Questions company solvency. FTX linked Robinhood shares worth $460 million to be seized by the U.S. Justice Department. And then let's see what else we got here. Silvergate stock crashes 40% in pre-market as FTX collapse impacts the bank. Yowza, man. There's we do know that there was going to be some more contagion happening, but let's see how all of this goes. I see people popping in here. We got Turbo, Manny, Corey. Come on, man. What's up, Crusader? You keep fooling me with the Secret Soul Society, but appreciate you guys popping in. Let's have a fun conversation today about the metaverse. I titled it "Exploring the Metaverse: The Rise of NFTs and the Future of Digital Ownership." But obviously, here on Twitter Space, we can talk about anything, and that's why I put in the Twitter Space title Metaverse NFTs and probably a bunch of random shit. We always have a good time, and we always talk about a bunch of random shit with a lot of really good value add and solid content. So definitely looking forward to doing that. Let's while we wait for more people to pop in really quick, let's look at coin market cap, look at some market activity here in the crypto sphere just to get a look, see how things are doing. Why is this on day mode? That should be right there to turn it off. I don't know why it's not. Click the diamond. What happened? No, we're not signing in. Man, that's annoying. Nobody likes day mode on any website. That freaker is bright. Okay, cool. So Bitcoin coming in at 16.8, Ethereum 12.50. You got BNB at 256, XRP 34 cents. I'll tell you what, man, that's a buying opportunity if you believe XRP is going to do some stuff. Doge 7 cents. Cardano. This thing is to me, Cardano at 26, 27 cents is like, that's an opportunity of almost a lifetime. Almost. So, who knows where things are going the next several weeks, next several months. Again, what we've been talking about is, we've got the next year really to be stacking all of our chips and making sure that, you get everything that you want. If you can load up on the projects that you like, the NFTs that you like, all that stuff, because we will see some sideways chop for the next several months. But, as we get towards the tail end of this year, you better have your bags packed, ready to go. Polygon Matic. Let's look at this one. Let's take a little deeper of a dive here on this one, because this is one of those coins that if you guys have been listening to the show and hanging out, Polygon is one of the coins that I'm going to bet big on, and I really think that what they're trying to accomplish with the speed, scalability, all that stuff. It will compete with Ethereum. Will it ever bypass it market cap wise? I don't think so. But I do like where it's going. I like where it's primed. Let's look at the 1 year chart. It didn't really take a huge dip like a lot of the other coins did. Like you could still see that, this one has a green chart. Not a lot of coins have a green chart right now. Well, I guess that's the all. Let's look at the 1 month. Yeah, see, most of the coins are going to be looking like that, where we did see that steep drop off, right around the time of the mid-December range. But anyway, I think that we want to talk more about the metaverse today. So anybody who wants to pop up, talk about metaverse, talk about NFTs, talk about anything Web3, really. The floor is open. The conversation is open to the crew. If you guys have not done so, I made one change, just so you guys know. Instead of streaming this, as you guys know, we stream to Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and do the Twitter space at the same time. Today, what I decided to do is, because I've got one of my old podcast accounts. It was the Beards and Bitcoins account that I did with Ben. It is now the Web3 Breakfast account here on Twitter. So I am going to start streaming these to that the Web3 Breakfast channel versus my personal Twitter. I just think that that's probably a better move, and this way, my people that follow me on as J Chains on Twitter don't get annoyed with these things happening every day, because it seems like some people get annoyed with shit, and I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, MK up in YouTube, GMGM. Let's put a little comments there. All right, so guys, if you have not done so already, make sure that you're following over on my new YouTube channel. It is just JChains. You can find me there. You can search it by going jchains.live, and it will take you right to the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys doing that. And if you are listening on the space, obviously you know how to find me on Twitter. So Seeker B, appreciate you popping in. Dad Cypher, Shane, what's up, my dude? Hey, today's a metaverse conversation. If you want to come up and talk about what you got going on, Dad Cypher, my buddy Shane, got a chance to hang out down in Miami during the conferences a few weeks ago. COO of Ethereum Towers. That, to me, is the metaverse that I am most looking forward to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah. I'm a Yuga slut. I got the other deeds. I got my coda. I've got the resources and all that stuff. That's a big time fun play that that I'm looking forward to when that one is done. But as far as like professionally and developmentally goes, Ethereum Towers, the conversation that we had Dad Cypher and I had was that it's a metaverse for non-gamers. And you guys know me, I'm not a gamer. I'm not a gamer at all. In the traditional sense, obviously, with the metaverse, that will be some form of that. But with the ability to create, a professional atmosphere. Like I want to have a podcast studio, or a almost even like a news show, or even a talk show like a Jimmy Fallon or something, and then have people come in and be able to sit in the audience, ask questions. I mean, much like a Twitter space, but make it a little more interactive. And that's one thing that I'm absolutely looking forward to do. And I think that when we can integrate into the metaverse, like things that I do as a content creator, I'll tell you what, that'll be a massive game changer, and I'm really looking forward to it. So Shane, if you do want to pop up today, please feel free. You are more than welcome to just request to be a speaker, and that goes to everybody. Anybody, if you want something you want to talk about, anything Web3 related. We were going to try to focus on the metaverse today, but anything goes. Turbo, what's up, my dude? You there, Turbo?
Yeah, can you hear me?
No.
We might be caught in that time for it.
There we go. I got you now.
What's going on, man? I was just saying what's going on, man. I'm excited to always talk about the metaverse.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you're getting familiar with another metaverse, OVR. Is that correct?
Yeah, both the two that I'm really excited about are OVR and the Sandbox.
If you guys, so Sandbox, the voxel style is not my favorite, but I do know that they're building a lot of really cool experiences in the Sandbox. But I do, and if anybody wants to join me in this venture, I will take on some business partners. But I have been saying that I want to start a strip club in Sandbox, and I want to call it Squareolas. To kind of play along that voxel style. So if anybody wants to join and do that venture with me, more than welcome. Let's get in the back channels. Let's have some chats and let's build it. I think that would be fun and funny.
Yo, But I definitely think that we might be able to build that. You know what I'm saying? But I know that you said that you don't really care too much about the pixelated, but the OVR, it is it's a new experience. It's really combining um, like augmented reality and virtual reality, together.
That's like really cool. I like that idea, mixing the augmented and the virtual reality, plus the whole aspect of the metaverse. So there are obviously a lot of metaverses out there. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of companies really moving forward to try to get some things done. There's also a lot of companies that are building really good trailers with no intention to ever actually put out a product. So that's one thing that, as consumers of information, as for me individually, as a content creator, these are the things that I have to be looking out for, and in order to help people navigate these things. And whether it's you have conversations, I've got conversations lined up with some metaverse companies over the next couple of weeks, and my job is to sniff them out and see, like, is this a legitimate thing, or is this just a money grab? Are you just trying to build up some hype, scoop up some coin, and then never deliver? That's one thing that scares me, as far as where we're going with the metaverse, and kind of like that hype that we saw last year, where after Meta changed their name, or after Facebook changed their name to Meta, there was this big metaverse hype. Everything became a metaverse. I'm a firm believer that we're already living in it. Everything that we do digitally, everything, the conversations that we have, this, to me, this studio where I'm at, this is my metaverse right now. One day, like I was saying a little bit ago, we'll have a better opportunity to engage in a more immersive site. But for now, this literally is my metaverse. I'm sitting in my house in Georgia. And we got Turbo, he's in a different time zone. Seekers is probably in a different time zone. I know Dad Cypher's up in the middle of nowhere in Canada. We've got people from all over the world that can be here listening to this re-representation of my voice. And Raul Paul, did an interview, or he had a video. It was maybe 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, definitely last year. Sorry. And he had basically said that same thing. You are already living in the metaverse. When you get on a phone call, that is just a re-representation of your voice. If you do a Zoom call, a FaceTime, again, you watch a YouTube video, you're not actually in that space with that person. You're watching something, and that is maybe a little more rudimentary, trying to say, like, we're already in the metaverse. But that's how I feel about it. I truly feel that this is the beginning to the metaverse, and it is what you want it to be at this point. So the fact that I could sit here, I can broadcast my video to 3 different channels, I can broadcast the audio and join in a conversation with people, again, from all over the world, and we don't have to be in the same room. We're already there. We're already living in the metaverse. We're doing it. We're going to make this happen, guys. We are all going to make it too. I'm definitely excited. Turbo, what do you think about that? Do you think we're already living in the metaverse?
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more with you. You know what I'm saying? I will say the one thing that I've been hearing a lot around this space is that the new thing is, like, people going around like there's only one metaverse, like, and so that's kind of a whole thing. And but I think it's all about like the way we communicate. I know you started off talking about people putting up trailers and the excitement for all of that. And it just goes back to what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? We're sharing our dreams and our visions, and we're creating different projects and businesses and such. And so like this couldn't be more a greater representation of the hopes of the metaverse and what we're doing right now, just maybe with a little bit more operability.
Yeah, I think the interoperability, I think, is going to be the biggest, the barrier to all of what we're looking for in the metaverse. Is how do we, and especially as investors, how do I ensure that the assets that I'm buying, I can use them and I can utilize them across several platforms. I think if we get to that point, where maybe Unity and Unreal start to play nice, and we can figure out how to have them work together seamlessly, so we do see some interoperability, because those seem to be the biggest players. Obviously the voxel is different for Sandbox, but with Unity and Unreal, if they could figure out how to incorporate together, and I'm not saying become one company, but just play nice somehow, that would be great. Because then now, if I've got my mutant ape and I want to travel over to another metaverse with that and have that be my in-game asset or my avatar, like, I would like for that to be able to happen. Like, you spend a lot of money on one of these things, you want to show it off, you want to use it, you want to participate in these ecosystems with these assets that you have. That's the whole fucking point of it, right? Like that's the message that we're trying to teach these, these video gamers, that hey, like you can own your assets, right? Like say you spend all this money to to get this video, and why it hasn't clicked in yet, and maybe it's the naming of it, but why this hasn't clicked in yet, I will never understand. You could spend $70 on a game, and then you buy all this other in-game shit, and now you've spent several $100s, but maybe during this time, like your gun has gotten phenomenal, and you just one shot blast. And guys, forgive me because I don't know the game terms, but you one shot blast somebody, and everybody's got to waste all their ammo, and again, you're a one shot murderer in this game. But now you're done with it, and so now what? You spent all this money, you've got this valuable weapon. Are you just going to let it sit while you move on to another game? No, sell it, make some money, and that can fund your next game. That could maybe fund your next couple games. That could fund a TV. That could a new computer. I don't know. All sorts of things. And I find that it's just so strange that being able to utilize these assets across these platforms doesn't make more sense to gamers. And I know we'll get there. I know we'll get there, but it's probably, we gotta just call them different names, like the NFT thing, digital assets, whatever. Anyway, what do you think about all that, Turbo? And anybody else? And a couple more people popped in since the last time I said that. But guys, this is a community think space. So if you want to participate, just request to come on up. We'll bring you up and absolutely participate in this conversation, because that is why we are here.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I think that this is going to be the year of gaming in the NFT community. I think we'll begin to see a big shift, especially like with Unreal Engine 5, like coming out. The Blender, I mean, is like all of these products that are out there. They give like incredible tutorials, step by step, on how to do, how to create and to build, and even a lot of different projects come with templates where you can actually just take their gaming template and change it up to put in your own assets and stuff. I mean, with Fiverr, having the ability to reach different artists all over the world, and I will say too, like there's some incredible artists like and game creators all over the world, what I'm saying, that live in very like impoverished third world countries that are creating some incredible things, and it's really an amazing opportunity to be able to help them to make a living, and to really increase their their monthly salaries, of what they can earn. And so I think when we really combine all of those together, and people understand like that you can be paid for your time that you're putting into these things, I think that's when we'll see a lot more adoption.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, so look at this. If you guys are watching on any of the video channels, there's an article that came out the other day, and Web3 startups raised $7.1 billion in funding during 2022, with gaming accounting for 62% of that. So almost 4.5, almost $4.5 billion of that 7.1 that was raised for Web3 was in the gaming industry. I mean, you got to think like, what is that? What is that going to do? That's basically setting the foundation for something massive to happen in the next couple of years, right? It has to be. There's just too much money.
I mean,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say J Change. I mean, I think that that's the thing too that we're gonna see with a lot of projects in the NFT community, because there's a lot of projects that are being fudded, and people are saying things, they're not working, all this, and they're working silently, building through this build market. And so I think what we're gonna see is these projects are gonna emerge that have been taking these funds in, and it's just gonna be one big boom at the same time.
I mean, that would be great. Like, because if anybody was here for the 2017 2018 run, all during the ICO run, right? Like every company that participated made so much money. Well, my phone just started ringing. That was weird. Did you guys hear that ring?
We couldn't hear you. Just quit talking.
Okay. So it took over the audio. Should probably figure out how to put it on airplane mode or whatever. So back to it. So, in the 2017, 2018, like ICO run, you had all these companies making so much money, hundreds of $1 million, $30 million, up to hundreds of $1 million, doing their ICOs. But what did they do? They didn't use a dime of it for marketing. It was the CEOs, the founders, they got the Lambos, the yachts, when that was the when moon, when Lambo, like that, everybody was, you do your ICO, and then all of a sudden, you bought all these coins. Now the guy that you bought the coins from is driving around in a Lambo. You're like, what the heck? With no marketing plan whatsoever. And I think that has to change. And I think it will change, much to the point we just said, Turbo, for, utilizing, you know, the community, taking, you know, some of these marketing funds and making it more of a special ecosystem for the users, I think is the prime opportunity here. Got to build it what they want.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's like the field of dreams,
Yeah.
right? If you build it, they will come.
No, you know, and I think that that's, you know, that's really where I'm at, you know, like in my journey, like with building and creating, you know what I'm saying? Like this is where I want to be at. You know, I have so many ideas and different you know, things that I want to be able to bring into fruition. And so it's like this is the time to be building. You know what I'm saying? Like to be learning your skills. There's not a lot, you know, there's not a lot of big splashes that are going on in the market where people are, you know, like just constantly watching, you know, to see what's coming out. It's just such an amazing time to learn and to be developing.
Yeah, and yeah, this is like literally the time. And you know, if we go to, let's go back to Coin Market Cap, and that's the site that I use. And if you guys don't like Coin Market Cap, if you like Coin Gecko or Paprika or whatever, you know, you use the site that works for you. This one just, it works, and I have it bookmarked, so it's really easy. And I've been doing it for a while. But you know, if we look at like some of these things, like Trevor, what did you just say there? My explanation of using Coin Market Cap totally derailed what I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, I was just stating that it's just such a great time for learning
Oh, yeah.
and to be building right now.
Thank you. And so, like, with that being said, you know, like right now, if you look at, I mean, even if you look at Bitcoin, like, you know, let's go to the all-time chart of Bitcoin, like, and you can see throughout times, like there are the peaks and the valleys, right? Like that's where we're in a valley right here, and like you see, like it goes up and then down, up and then down, up and then down, and why people would capitulate and, you know, sell for a loss right now, I will never understand. Now I understand if you had to do it at the end of the year for tax implications or purposes, that's one thing. But you know, this is that time. This is the time. Even if we say, and you know, we'll say this a few more times, I'm sure. But right now is your opportunity. You know, prices are historically low for where we are. Where we are at in the age of this ecosystem, in this market, right? Like, you know, it's just the way that the market works is that they go up, they go down, and that's, you got to have your bear markets or your build markets, as we call them, to have your bull markets. And so if you can really just focus on, and I would like to hear what other people think about this. You know, that we've got like the next 12 months, and I'm saying that because we're timing it up with the Bitcoin halving. But you know, there could be other factors that, you know, change the trajectory of the cycle, right? Like until the 4-year cycle is broken, the 4-year cycle is an actual thing. What is up, Crusader? I see you came up.
What's going on, man?
Chilling.
I agree with you, man. I 100% agree about the cycles. You know, the trend is your friend until the end. The 4-year cycles are still intact. I know a lot of other things and little models kind of broke, right? But the 4-year cycle is still true to this day. So it's just a matter of patience, man. I think, you know, people that capitulate now, unless like you said, like unless it's for tax purposes at the end of the year, doesn't make a lot of sense. If you just hold on and have a little bit of patience, you know, it's about accumulating assets. It's not about accumulating dollars. A lot of people get mixed up on that, and they can't get past the dollar amount of their assets. It's how many assets you have in the next couple of years. That amount can change your life when it comes to dollars amount.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's probably a few strategies that you can do, you know, to safeguard yourself from that, right? Like take your portfolio and this, I learned this many years ago. I say many years ago, probably 4 years ago. But to take your portfolio, and you can turn that dollar amount off. You can put it into Ethereum, you can put it into Bitcoin, you can just hide it so you don't have to pay attention to it, you know, or put it into a wallet that you don't really have access to, and just keep sending yourself stuff. You know, don't withdraw, don't sell, just keep depositing in there. Make that your little savings account, and then watch that sucker grow by the end of the year. I'll tell you what, that would be like a fun strategy, right? There's just so many different ways that you can do that to really mitigate any kind of risks. Like don't leverage trade. Like I get like leverage trading is a lot of fun. I'm a gambler. I'm a high risk guy. I love all that, but I got absolutely wrecked last year, absolutely wrecked. And so this next cycle, I will not spin up the leverage at all. And you know, like was it DP3 said, you know, he had lost, and that's a little bit more of a serious situation, but he had lost, a lot of users funds for, with his gambling addiction. And I don't have a gambling addiction, but I do like high risk. I like that high risk, high reward. You're a zero or a hero. I'm a big believer in that, right? That's just who I am. I like high adrenaline. I ride motorcycles. I'd miss the opportunity to jump out of an airplane, right? Like I should have done that in my 20s. I'm now 40. That ship has sailed. But I still don't have a problem going over 100 on a motorcycle, right? I'm a high risk guy. That's what it's just, you gotta know who you are. But this particular cycle, I am done leverage trading. The thrill of that is absolutely gone for me.
Yeah, man, I completely agree that there is many different strategies, and those that you mentioned are perfectly, accurate. And it is depending who you are, right? High risk. When I remember when I first got into crypto a few years ago, I used to keep all my crypto on the exchange, right, on my phone. I would be checking my phone constantly to see the price and the dollar amount. Obviously, quickly I learned about cold storage. I started to throw everything into the cold storage. And then I realized, like, hey, my cold storage is on my isolated laptop that I don't ever get onto. So I don't ever look at how much is on there. I just buy on my exchange and then send it right over to my cold storage. And I don't even look at it. And then, I have a separate portfolio if I'm going to be doing some day trades or some swing trading or experimenting with that, whether it's leverage or spot. That's a different portfolio. And then obviously the NFT portfolio is different as well. And it just diversifies you. And I'm just not looking at the dollar amounts every single day. I know a lot of people connect to their hardware wallets with the Bluetooth to their phone, and everything's on their phone. So they're just constantly checking their phones all the time. I try to keep that as separate as possible so I don't ever even look at it or even think about it.
Yeah. Well, that's a great idea. And another way that you can safeguard yourself from all this stuff, and this is literally what I did this, this particular build area or time frame, is that I had taken a lot of my crypto and turned it into NFTs, right? So now, that's another way that I'm not sad, and to go from a couple commas down to wherever it is, like value wise, I don't actually know what my portfolio is worth, because what I can tell you is when I log into my NFT wallet and I look at those things, I'm happy. It doesn't bother me that maybe I don't have as much money as I did before, but I do have a lot of really cool looking assets that, just remember, even if they're not worth much right now, when Ethereum's back up to like 10K, you're going to find a way to get your money back. So it's just to me, that's like one of the best savings accounts that you can do. Because if you enjoy looking at something, you're not gonna be upset about it. If you're not trying to, spend your Ethereum on a daily to fund your life, why just let it sit there? I'm not gonna stake anything at this particular moment on anybody's platform, custodially wise, because it's just nobody's trusting any of that right now. So, if I've got a mutant ape that's worth, I don't know what the floor is right now, but when I bought in, it was 15 ETH, it was 14.9 ETH is what I bought at. It's going to go back up, and so not only am I going to make a bunch of Ethereum, I get to look at a cool picture, and so that's like another safeguarding method that I've used for this particular time frame. Turbo, you got your hand up, sir. What you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to I wanted to bring up the point about disruptive innovations, but to the point that you're talking about right now, all of these NFTs are history. They're collectibles at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what happens, no matter how this goes, like this moment in time, is always going to be a part of history. And so just to make a point to what you were saying about the looking in, because I'm the same way, man. I look at my wallet and I'm just like, it might not be a lot of money, but I think that we look at it from a disruptive innovation standpoint. One, we can use our art to be able to create other brands and clothing lines, and there's so many opportunities that we just don't use right now. And from the metaverse standpoint, you know what I'm saying, and getting gaming and that stuff to make that change, it's like once they understand like what the true value and what's at stake. I brought up Roblox the other day. $2.2 billion in the market, and those kids are going to grow up, you know what I'm saying? So having a place to come where they can be able to develop and create and with using technology and the tools that we have, that's going to be the major change in gaming, is when people realize like, man, I can create this thought, this vision that I had in my mind and make a difference in my life.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And you think like, look at, I just pulled something up. You said Roblox, right? And so I pulled up a thing. It's called like backlinko.com or whatever. Here, I can pull this over on the video. So if you guys are watching the feed, you can do that. But it shows the Roblox user and growth stats from last year for 2022. Like, look at this from February 2016. They had 9 million users to April of 2021, 202 million users. That's massive, right? In just a couple of years. You got to think like this metaverse ecosystem is going to be the same way. And those users are coming into the metaverse. We literally have an addressable market size of hundreds of millions of people. Hundreds of millions of people. How do we create something that they want to use that is Web3 based so that we can all be a part of this? You know, so that your bags do go up, but so that these gamers have a place that they want to play. Because that seems to be the biggest gripe that I understand, is that the Web3 games right now suck.
Well, it's a lot of that, Jay, you know, comes with just the barriers of the technology right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to get wallets to connect, to be able to get those assets to be able to be seen and used. So, you know, as those things come into play, you know, we're going to see that happening a lot faster. The adoption, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Money Mike, what's happening?
Hey, what up, J Chain? And Mooney Mike, Mooney. I know it's a little, difficult to read, but yeah, Mooney Mike Duck Crow. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Amazing. Yo, so I just wanted to say something about the gaming thing. You know, I've been playing some of these blockchain games, and I agree with you, man. It's just not there yet. And I think a reason, well, for some of these, is the gas fees. I'm playing a game called Defira, and that's on Chronos. And there's just so many transactions in the game where it just becomes sometimes a negative transaction to even play the darn thing. So right now they're working on building a server and things like that because they realize that's a problem. And a lot of them, I think, are realizing that's an issue. And a lot of these games, they're not really playable. We haven't seen anything that's going to take you away from your COD or, you know, your dope ass games that you're playing today, because let's face it, the gaming now is dope. I mean, I play COD. It looks so real. The graphics are amazing. The technology is so advanced over there right now. And to make you switch, it's going to be tough. But I agree. The gaming industry is going to be, I think, is going to what draws the millions and millions of people, bro. I mean, that's just my 2 cents.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, and again, we looked at that statistic where, you know, of the almost or the $7 billion that came in for funding in Web3 last year, you know, 4.5 of it was for gaming. I mean, literally, that's the addressable market. That's what it is. Like, those are the people that we need to find something that works for. Now, I did get a chance to chat with the founder, Grant, of Undead Blocks is the name of the game. Now, that to me, again, you know, I'm not a gamer. I do know that Call of Duty people like absolutely love. Now it had good graphics. It was, you know, easy to play. And so, you know, maybe that's, you know, an option. And I think some of us have said, you know, it's really going to take a traditional game studio to come in and make something that people want to use and then incorporate blockchain into it. You know, that would be, that'll be the game changer.
It would, because they already have the fan base, right? And then just to slowly start adding in NFTs as cosmetics and things like that, it eventually they would be on board no matter what. It would be involved in the game, you know. Oh man, I hope someday they do that, because.
Now, do you think?
Yeah, what? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I wonder a lot why it is that a lot of these companies that are building these games or studios or, you know, whatever it is, why they focus so much on building the game on the blockchain, which then leads to all these transactions. And, like, you know, we pay for a $60 game, we get high quality graphics, no lag, no nothing, and, you know, you get everything in the game. Versus some of these games on Web3, you got to pay hundreds to thousands of dollars to be able to buy assets to get involved into the game. So I would think that it would be reversed. I would think that they would just create a regular game, or let's say like Call of Duty, right? And find a way where you can submit your address to your profile, and as you unlock assets or loot assets, it just gets sent directly to your wallet. So you can still have ownership, but don't have the struggle of the game being on the blockchain, constantly costing you gas fees.
Do you think that it has anything to do with regulation or regulatory clarity, right? And so some of these traditional studios and companies are like, listen, we're not going to put anything out because we don't want to get fucked in the back end. We don't want to get our users screwed over. Like you got to think about tax implications for if you sell one of these NFTs. Maybe you got that airdrop or you looted, and now you picked up some $10,000 NFT and you sell it. Well, that's a taxable event. Someone is going to have to pay taxes on that. And I don't think maybe the clarity is there. So these companies are like, we're not going to do that because we don't want to deal with it. We don't want our users to get turned off. They'll stop using the game. We're not going to spend all this money to build something that people can't even play because they don't, they're afraid that they're going to go broke doing it.
It could be some of that, right? I definitely agree. It could be some of that. But I also think that a lot of it comes from like the game models like GTA, where it's all about microtransactions that they fully control, that the game developers are making money directly from, versus like giving assets to these players and then them being able to resell. They're not going to be making as much money as every time you want to refuel your GTA 5 money on the game is going to cost you $50 or $20 or whatever it is directly to their bank account. I think it's there might be a little bit of greed on the traditional gaming side of where you want to make sure we keep all the transactions in-house and the money's coming directly back to us.
Well, you would think like if they're the like, okay, well, here's an opportunity for them to make a shitload of money is if they make all the assets NFTs and they put a little royalty on it. Now, for the rest of time, as long as people are still playing that game and they're trading assets, they're going to make money off of it. So what's the holdup? Now, again, could be the taxes thing. It could just be the regulation. Who knows? But that seems like that would be a pretty big moneymaker for some of these game studios.
It's got to be the taxes thing because it's just like the marijuana industry, They have it kind of out there and it's kind of legal and it's sort of, and it's just like these big banks and stuff want to get involved, but they can't yet, because it comes down to taxes, I think. Because imagine one of these big companies does something. Who's the government going to go after first? All that money they got.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother conversation. The government looking for this tax money. They better start doing their job if they think they earn any kind of tax money in this country. Because they
got 87,000 people, so I don't know.
all our tax money is in Ukraine. I don't know. That's what if they're looking for. That's where it's at.
I mean,
hopefully it's being laundered out there or something.
Yeah. Well, we know that it was going through FTX for a while. That's crazy. Anyway.
Well, dude, 100% wild.
Yo, the thing I wanted to say, about the gaming and for NFTs, to put into perspective, Cyberpunk 2077, which is a game that came out in 2020, it cost $174 million to develop it, and another $142 million in their marketing budget. Jesus. So with inflation, they spent $331 million to create that game. And then to take it even a little bit further, right? Like people are like, why don't they get more into like the Web3? Well, because how much money does Xbox, PlayStation, all them spend developing their platforms and their consoles to be able to play this. So the amount of money that's being dumped, by the actual game creators, we're just not seeing that kind of investment in the NFT side. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if they invested that same kind of money into what they're doing into Web3, they would see huge returns. But from a projection standpoint, Cyberpunk 2077 is projected to earn in its lifetime of the game around $3 billion.
It's not a bad ROI. A quarter of a billion, but was like a quarter of a billion to make a couple billion.
But their launch failed big time. They were underwater for a while. I don't know how the game is now, but I haven't even played it since all the glitches.
Yeah, that game was a big flop.
So then what do you guys think of this? Because this was something that, man, when did it come out? I want to say it came out in November of last year. The whole thing with Sony, that Sony has been working on NFTs kind of quietly in the background, for PlayStation. And they had done like a patent filing over a year ago, but then didn't really make it announce or talk about it until, like at the end of last year. So what is like, we're talking about traditional gaming studios. That could be the game changer if PlayStation gets it right. I would assume, right? Because what's the active users on PlayStation every day? Let's look that up.
Well, you know why PlayStation is so motivated to get into the NFTs is because the Xbox is getting a lot of contracts, and they're talking about holding different games. My son was telling me, and I haven't completely fact checked this, but he's pretty on top of these things. But he was telling me that the Call of Duty that they're talking, that I guess like Xbox bought, the rights to all the games. And so they're talking about just making it only for Xbox users. And so if that happens, that's gonna be a huge swing, for PlayStation to have to do something.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a quick look here through the Googles. As of September 2022, the network, this is PlayStation Network, had approximately 103 million monthly active users, which was a decrease from 111 million users in December of 2021. That's, I mean, guys, again, addressable market. You're talking over 100 million people playing games that would be getting eyes on this, actually participating. It's one thing to be able to talk about it, and they hear about Bitcoin, they hear about NFTs, they hear about Web3, blockchain, all that shit in the news, but it's another thing for people to be using it. And I think for as long as I've been in this game, as long as I've been creating content and being a part of this ecosystem, the one thing that we've said, for mass adoption to truly be here, people need to be using the technology without realizing it, right? It can't be harder to use than what we could traditionally have. Like your grandma, if she just can go to the store and swipe her debit card, she's going to keep doing that. If it requires doing something that's so much harder or more labor intensive or more stressful, no, it'll never work like that. And so, and that's a little bit more of an extreme example, but for gaming, so like if we can just get these PlayStation games with integrated NFTs, and people are just in there using the ecosystem, playing, that will drive so much activity into this ecosystem. Like, it'll be insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, dude, that reminds me of like, I don't know if you guys have ever played the game Diablo 3 on the PC. Back when it first launched, back when it first launched in like 2011, 2012, around there, it had an auction house. It was one of the first games I had ever seen that had a real life auction house. So the items you could find in the game, you could sell for either in-game gold or actual real US dollars. Dude, I remember an article coming out about a kid that was making more than $4,000 a month playing this game. Shortly after that, they canceled the auction house, and they stopped. First, they stopped it from US dollars. That was just in-game money, and then eventually they closed it completely off and got rid of it. I thought that was one of the greatest things ever. And now with NFTs, like that's an example of a regular game being created by a regular studio that could be making people money and can also be making money, like you said, about attaching a royalty to it, and they could just be making money. So I don't know why they don't do that. I honestly don't. It blows my mind.
I mean, is that the whole greed and I don't want to say corruption, but like the greed thing, right? Like, they want to be making the money. Like they want they want that money for themselves. So I would agree with you that it probably has something to do with some kind of a greed. They want to keep control over it because everybody knows once crypto takes over, a lot of countries and governments are going to lose control, which is probably a really good thing. We're starting to find out there's a lot of bullshit going on in a lot of different countries throughout this world. I got into crypto for the revolution aspect of it, to damn the man, change the world. I'm going to create my own financial freedom, that kind of thing. So, I feel like the movement of what crypto is kind of gone. But I feel like here in Web3, especially in the NFT ecosystem and kind of how the communities band together to build, incubate projects and ideas and develop and grow. Like that to me is the that revolution spirit is back, and that's why I'm here. And the revolution will not be televised. We're just going to come out and kick some ass.
Well said, brother. Well said.
Yeah, and I do actually. I have a question for the for the gamers, the guys that are in here. Because like that's one thing me and my partner been working on because we're developing some games for our metaverse experience. And so like I've been really looking at the retro gaming aspect because one, like it's obviously easy to be able to like to build, like as we're building. But two, I was thinking from a place of like the nostalgia and bringing people back to like the old times when we had fun, right? Like the old Ninja Turtle game, I'm saying, that we played all the time, and having like that 4-player experience. Do you think that retro gaming will help, like with the users we have currently and to bring people in for adoption?
I mean, I love the idea. I mean, it's like, it's like anything, retro, whether it's movies, TV shows, games, all of that stuff. It's a way for a new generation, a new wave of people to appreciate it. So absolutely. I mean, like that would be fun for me. Like, I could sit down and play like a little bit of Mario or, a little bit of like a football game. And what was it? Was that a Nintendo? Was it Tecmo Super Bowl, right?
Oh hell yeah, Super Tecmo Bowl.
Super Tecmo.
Nintendo, regular Nintendo.
Yeah, like so, like if there was a way for someone to get the rights to that kind of stuff and then bring that back into Web3, I would absolutely sit down and give that stuff a go and have some fun with it. And especially in a couple of years when my daughter is of age to be able to play games like that, like and share that with her and be like, I think the whole retro thing is really cool. It's a fun way for people to bond, different generations and talk about that. I mean, we've seen movies do that. The reboots of stuff, all of that. I think regardless of the genre or not the genre, regardless of the ecosystem or whatever content it is, the reboots and the retro gaming I think could be a fantastic way to get people in that people like my age that have children to have that bond, if that makes any kind of sense.
No, definitely. I love that, man. And that's definitely encouraging to hear. And I had some great ideas, while you're talking, and I think that's what's great about your spaces, Jay, is that, everybody comes up here. Like you said, we come from all over the globe, all over the blockchain, sharing information, doing this, man. I really look forward to it. I set my alarm to make sure I'm up to be here. And, I think it's great, and this is how we're going to grow the space.
I can't wait, for more people to join this and really kind of like help me help, because these conversations that we have every single day here on Twitter Space, this not only helps me grow developmentally for my career personally, but this helps like all of us really really turbocharge what we're doing here in this industry and being a part of it and growing and developing and learning. It's, to me, this is community think. I think that's, when people ask you, and my wife was saying, her and I were talking last night, and she what is Web3? She likes to challenge me on this stuff all the time to think about it, because, when I get asked that question, sometimes 5 minutes later, I realize that I'm still talking. And so it was one of those things last night where, she asked me, well, what's Web3? Because I'm trying to get better at how we explain this. And, after like 2 minutes, I was like, did you get that? And she's like, no, I have no idea what you just said to me. And I think, finding ways to break down this message of, where these opportunities, like all of this stuff with, with what we're building here and how this community is coming together. That to me is one of the biggest aspects of what Web3 is that it's not just the next layer of the internet. It's the community coming together to build something that the community wants. At least that's my goal. That's my goal. Anything that I build or anything that I participate in will definitely be, community driven or community thought, led, or I don't want, DAOs maybe that's the right answer. I don't know. I just heard Empire DAO. I thought that was one of the biggest kind of operational DAOs that we've had here. Just went down, or I don't know if they went down, but they've got to move out of their space, and I think they're going to take some time off to try to reevaluate what they can do. Maybe they bit more than they could chew, or the markets just shit as much as they did. Having a big space in New York City could be very cost prohibitive, and I think that's what we found out there.
No, definitely. And the other side to that, Jay, like in all of this is that, the saying like a rising tide lifts all ships.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And the beautiful thing about like everything that, you're doing, that, I'm doing, everybody in here is doing, I see Secret B down there, Silent Hill, everybody has their projects and things that they're doing. All of this work, is lifting the ships for everybody. You know what I'm saying? For those people, for the bad actors, for the people who aren't involved yet, we are raising all the boats. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, it's just going to be a lot easier for us to come together, you know what I'm saying, and talk about and get the motivation, because like just sharing that idea with you and you saying like, oh yeah, like I would be excited about that. Oh, okay, great. That gives me confidence, and it gives me assurance in the things that I'm building and the ideas I have, because, I don't have anybody else in real world, in the IRL. I have to come to Twitter Spaces to find people to talk to, and to get this reassurance, which motivates to get action done, right? And so, I hope that, just like in, everything that I do, being a part of this, that it encourages other people to get up here and, talk about the things that they're excited about and to take action for those things.
Heck yeah, man. And that's super important, is that everybody, and not every idea is a great idea, but the ability to come in here and bounce an idea off somebody and have a different perspective. To me, I got the same thing as you. There are very few people in my real life world, in my location here, that my family. I've got my mom's got some crypto. I got one of my sisters that's into it, but really that's it. And I got a really big family, but no one's really into it. So I don't have the ability to, like you said, Turbo, bounce ideas off people in my immediate circle. That's what I come here for. And that's why it is so important to me. That's why Twitter Space, and the in real life events that I do, and go to and get a chance to be with the community. Because remember, like I am just a community member like everyone else, right? Like we're all learning and growing together. I learn shit every single day, and I hope everybody learns something every single day. That's one of the joys of kind of being on the forefront of what we're doing and what we're building and what we're seeing happen, is that literally there is something to learn every day. And if you're learning, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're not making yourself better. And that's what you have to do to develop into the person that you want to be, whether it's a millionaire or a project founder or the lead graphic designer for a game studio. It doesn't matter. You just need to be making yourself better every single day. And like, you just got to find what works for you to do that. And I love being here. Like, Turbo, I appreciate you setting your alarm and being here. Crusader, I appreciate you being here almost every single day. Secret B, I had such a fantastic time chatting with you guys down in Miami. You and your whole community, everybody, Chris, everybody that is on your team, JB, y'all are just some amazing people. And, without an in real life event here in Web3, I don't know if we would have ever met. And so, Crypto K, you have been sending some, amazing messages in the Twitter sphere into the world that is really great for my mental health. And so I appreciate, literally I could go down the line of everybody in this room and say something amazing about you and how you're impacting my life. And like, where the fuck do you get this kind of activity? Where do you get this opportunity to link up with people that you could be in a different part of the world, but you have so much in common right off the rip with them, that this whole Web3 ecosystem, what we're building with the Web3 Metaverse NFTs, blockchain, crypto, all of that is absolutely so special. And to me, again, like, it's not, Web3 is not just the next layer of the internet. Web3 is the ability for us to come together in a whole new way that we've never been able to do. And that truly is exciting. because we can think about, like, if we can, if, and that's why, there's I don't want to say that they're jokes, but like the expressions, like, the government divides us because, if we were unified, like, they would be toast. Well, that's kind of how I see Web3 going, is that at some point we are all going to be unified. We are a community. It is our voice. Let's build something that works for all of us. And if there is some casual some fallout from it, there probably will be. There will always be fallout in anything that happens, especially with industry disruption and changes. And this is what, the fourth industrial revolution. I mean, there's gonna be some big freaking changes coming over the next bunch of years with blockchain technology being incorporated into a lot of our daily lives. So I'm excited for this. I'm just so appreciative that the people that come in here and hang out and want to participate and listen, and you do so regularly. I'll say this every single day. Thank you, because I'm nothing without you guys. So I appreciate you. And we're gonna win this Web3 game, guys. We are. We're all gonna do it together.
No, most definitely, Jay. Man, and that's what fires me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I really feel like a founding father of this new world that we are creating. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like such a responsibility, you know what I'm saying, to lead. You know what I'm saying? Like, taking the experience that I gained in the military, you know what I'm saying, and to be able to go out and develop the world into this place of just freaking good, because it's not hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, people sometimes we just need that opportunity for the reset. You know what I mean? Like, there's, all of us got past and shit that we went through, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like the Web3 is that opportunity to say, hey, like, I can shed that old identity and I can be, this leader, this developer, this artist, this fill in the blank, you know what I'm saying? And you inspire that, man, in each and every one of us, bro. So again, man, thank you so much, man. Thank you to everybody that came out, man, and everybody that's following, you know what I'm saying? Definitely check out the YouTube. Make sure you follow and subscribe to Jay Chains and what he's got going on, man. Like, I couldn't be more bullish just on you, bro, and everything that you got going on. And yo, man, it's that time to take us on out of here.
I appreciate you. And Turbo, very kind words from you. I appreciate you being here and co-hosting with me. Maybe we'll do this a little bit more regular. You can be my co-host, and it actually will allow us to bring more speakers up. And I know that that today was a smaller crowd, and that's okay. I've said it before. I am a-okay with having more intimate spaces, because then that gives people a better opportunity to come up, maybe be a little bit more vulnerable, and tell a story that means something to them, and maybe how Web3 is changing their life, because Web3 is changing all of our lives. It is changing my life. It is changing your life. I've been putting out some information about investing in yourself. This is the time to do it. Take this time where the markets are cooling down to figure out, where do you want to be in this industry? Like, do you hate your day job? Well, what do you do? There's a place for you to get in. You got to get in where you fit in. So just keep doing what you're doing. Make sure that you guys take care of your mental health. We will be back here tomorrow, 10 a.m. A little bit shorter of a show today, but that's all right. Monday through Friday, we are here at 10 a.m. This is Web3 Breakfast. My name is Jay Chains. Appreciate you all for popping in. If you ever want to be a guest or co-host, all you got to do is drop me a DM. You can shoot me an email. It's pretty easy to find out how to get a hold of me. I hope you guys all have a very wonderful day. Thank you so much, and we will see you tomorrow.